Good morning, Dave here with Organic Gardening in North Carolina. It is the 31st of October. Happy Halloween. Today we celebrate that. It is almost out of time for an October garden tour. So let me turn the camera around and I'll show you what's going on. We did have a light frost 2 nights ago, but it looks like from the long range weather forecast we're not going to have another frost for the next week or so. So I haven't been out, but I don't think very much died. It was just a super light frost. So let's turn the camera around and see. Yeah, see, I have tomatoes here that they didn't even get touched by the frost. So it was a super light frost. At this edge of the garden here, I planted a bunch of kale. And there's radishes mixed in there too. But this is called Premier Kale. It's got a nice flat leaf, which I like. The curly kale around here seems to attract a lot of bugs and I was starting to say mosquitoes, but it's spiders. So I like the flat leaf a little better. Here's my little fig tree that was just a stick I put in the ground last fall, and I was thrilled that it made it through the winter. I didn't get any figs from it, but it does have figs on it. But I don't think they're going to have time to ripen unless it gets super warm and stays warm for a while. Here's the garlic that I planted not long ago. Hopefully not too early. Okay, I put some Swiss chard there, which seems like it's growing pretty well. Have some carrots just sort of started here, a little tiny row here. I planted Goliath spinach. Doesn't seem like it's growing super well. I think I might have a chipmunk that's eating my starts of my crops too. And then I also have some lettuce planted here. Here's what's left of an Egyptian spinach plant. We've been feeding that to the rabbits. They really love it. They start fighting each other for it. This is a ground cherry. And I didn't even realize, or I forgot that I planted ground cherries. But I'm starting to get some of those. See if I have any that are close to ripe here, because they're interesting. They've got a little pouch that houses the fruit. And the fruit is a little orange ball. And it has like a tart, sort of a tart, sweet flavor. That one was not super ripe, so it had really tart flavor. The husks get a little brown when they're more ripe. That one was a little bit more ripe, but here's a husk. Of course, that one is way beyond ripe. That's one that I ate not too long ago. But it's an interesting little plant. Okay, here's a pepper plant. Has some peppers up in there. I've been eating a pepper plant almost every morning. A pepper off my pepper plants almost every morning. My goji berry's coming back to life. I thought I had lost it for good this year, because I think it just didn't get enough water. See, it's sprouting out. See if that comes back. There's another row of kale. There's my ginger, which looks to be about 4 feet tall. And the nodes are actually starting to poke through the top of the soil. Let's see if I get a picture of that. See that? The nodes are starting to come through the top of the soil. Oh, look at that. Wonder if that's got a bloom. Wonder if this blooms. It's a little like a couple bloom stalks coming through. I hadn't seen that before. It's a good thing I do these tours so I can pay attention to my garden once in a while. That's turmeric over there. This is my Moringa tree that I planted this spring. That thing, I should measure it again, but it looks, I would say, at least 15 feet, probably more. And it has some rattlesnake beans climbing up it too. They're the definition of coexisting. The thing I like about rattlesnake beans is even if you get a big bean like this, they're still tender, where the normal string beans tend to get tough. See that? That was nice and crunchy. Mmm. That is delicious. I do have a sweet potato vine over here. It looks like the frost took care of that. I think it's time to dig down and see if I got any sweet potatoes. Also just planted a raspberry here. It is a Rubus blackberry, black magic. You're supposed to get really huge blackberries. Oh, I think I said raspberries, didn't I? But it's actually blackberry. Propagation prohibited, so do not propagate. Okay, I told that plant, didn't I? Do not propagate. It's prohibited. Okay, let me get back out of here. Got a bunch of these ridged gourds, loofah, Chinese okra. I threw these over the trellis to keep them from getting in the soil and getting wet. But there's a bunch of them through here. Here's another vine over here, and this one is dried out. That one's ready to peel open. But look how, well, I don't know if you can tell, but that thing is light. And you can start hearing the seed shaking too. So that one's ready to pull the outer cover off and take the seeds out. Here's my sorrel. Has some okra here too that I didn't pick very well. They get stringy once they get a little big, but when they're about this size, they're perfect to eat. Yeah, that one's good. Let's see. Not a whole lot else over in that spot. I have a wild sorrel that comes up all through my yard, and it actually has a pretty nice taste. Here's a patch that came up in the garden. Sorrel is actually a name that covers a large variety of plants, and it sort of means bitter or sour, I mean. So that is a sour plant. Okay, let's see. I also have some arugula in here, which I believe what this is. This is a Holland green. Right here, right there's one. There's some freckled lettuce right there that I got from M.I. Gardener. It does real nice. There's a volunteer peach tree, which I might take out and plant somewhere. just for fun, because I don't know what kind of fruit it would give on a volunteer. There's a little mustard plant at the edge of the garden. Another little spot I put some mustard green in there. Some carrots out towards the edge here. There's a column of Malabar spinach. There's still a few raspberries on the raspberry vines, which I will eat now. Not quite ripe. But they're still pretty tasty. Ooh, I think I see some that are more ripe. Well, at least that one is a little more ripe. Okay. I'll go through this way. Oh look, I planted some, looks like some carrots and kale coming up here too. I forgot I planted any over here. But I did plant a row of kale here. Remembered that one. It needs to be thinned out. Looks like there's some carrots in front of there too. Maybe some radishes in the back. That needs thinned out a lot. Oh, hold on. Some more raspberries. Those are nice and ripe. Nice and chilled too. It's about 45 degrees here this morning. Okay. There's the second crop of asparagus gone to seed. This is stevia, which actually the plant survived the winter and came up all by itself. I didn't even put some seeds down. Which I didn't even know it would do that. This plant has come back to life since it got cooler. Nasturtium, I believe. You can eat the leaves and the flowers and everything on that. My bloody dock also came back, which I thought it was dead. This is, I think, hemlock, which came up. I had planted some pecan nuts in the garden just for fun. And this came up here, and there's another one. You can see it right there. Right there. But these things grew like 4 feet in one season. And I did have some of my pecans came up, and they only grew like 1 foot. And also I looked it up, and these have more leaf clusters. Like, see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 leaf clusters on there. And a pecan tree will only have like 5 or 6. So I'm pretty sure that's a hemlock, which I'll probably get rid of. Okay, this little bed has some lettuce. It's about ready to start picking some leaves off of. I put some sticks off my fig tree in the ground. That one there you can see is sprouting on the end. And this one has sprouted. And then there's 1, 2, 3 that look like they didn't do anything. So I guess that would be 2/5. I don't know what percentage that would be, something, but we'll see if they make it through the winter. I took them off of this fig tree, which this one died down to the ground, And we had probably 7 feet of growth on this thing this year. And it got tons of figs too. But again, since it grew from the ground, they only got the figs late in the season, and I don't think they're gonna have time to mature. Pretty sure it won't. It did the same thing last year. Okay, here are my pecan trees that I did plant. See how these have only like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little, I forget what you call them, where the leaf clusters are on the branches. So this one grew like a foot tall, maybe a foot tall, the one beside it. And there's one over there too that's like a foot tall. My Jerusalem artichokes were super tall, but they're died back. I can probably start pulling some Jerusalem artichokes out of the ground there. One thing I found out is my wife has rabbits, and she saw online that you can get Jerusalem artichoke stalks for the rabbits to nibble on. The rabbits' teeth continually grow, so they need to nibble things to wear down their teeth. And she said, "Don't you grow these?" I said, "Yeah, I just compost those stalks." And she's like, "Ah, what do you mean you compost them? I need them for my rabbits." So now I can harvest all those stalks for the rabbits, and they do love to chew on them, because I did have a few that weren't composted last year, and they munched them up. There's some basil. Let me get a leaf of that. There's another Holland green that I transplanted up here. And I also planted some marathon broccoli that I got at the store. I only got 3 plants. This is an apple tree that I planted from seed. There's a few of them around here. This one's the one that got the tallest though. That one's about 4 feet from planting it. I think I planted it last fall, so it could get stratified through the winter. Here's another one. That one didn't grow as tall, and that one's all curved and everything too, so I don't even know if I would try to transplant that one. There's another little one beside it. I just put gala seeds in the ground, which who knows what kind of plant it would give or what kind of fruit the plant would give. But I thought it would be fun to do. If it is bad fruit, I could always cut it off and use it for rootstock and graft something else on top. Here's some more peppers up here. I forget what kind of peppers these are, but if you eat the tips of them, they're sweet, not hot at all, but then if you go up towards the top, they start getting a little hot. This is horseradish. Took a while to come to me, but it's horseradish. You can dig up the roots of that in the winter, mince it up to make some nice sauces. There's some more ridge gourd up here. Looks like one over here. Oh yeah, that one is drying out. I believe this is broccoli that made it through from last fall when I planted it. Then this is elephant kale. Or not elephant, I always say elephant, it's dinosaur kale. And some cilantro. Some more lettuce planted around here. I put a whole bunch of rabbit poop in this bed. I actually got some rabbit poop from a lady that does a rabbit farm that had too much for her garden, and I threw it under here. I had radishes grown in here, which I just knocked down, put the rabbit poop on top of that, and then some wood chips. So this should be an excellent bed. It's got carrots coming up, they're doing really well. Then I put the Goliath spinach over here too, which seems like it's doing a little well. Hopefully, since it's cooler, it'll grow. Oh look, here's a cucumber that could be picked, or I could let it for a couple more days. There's a couple cucumbers here still. That's a volunteer plant. I didn't plant any of those. There's also some sugar peas or snow peas, whatever you call them. I can never keep that straight. And I did get a few of these off of here already, but I don't see any at the moment. Oh, here's one that is a little late. It should have been picked already, because the shell will be a little stringy on that. This is my main spot where I plant my Malabar spinach. Actually, I didn't plant it here. It just came up from last year, because I put my compost pile here and just let it compost down from my Malabar spinach. It gets so many seeds. All those seeds, see how they just drop right off? And they drop down the ground and come up. I thinned it quite a bit. So I only left a plant every foot or so. But yeah, it's really covered the fence here. Okay, I put my grass clippings up here to compost in. Top side of the garden here. Well, that's about it. Hope you enjoyed the tour. And if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe so you can get my videos right away. Thanks for watching. Have a good Halloween and have a blessed day.